Tadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. And that devotee of mine whose mind and intellect are fixed upon me, and who is ever contented, tranquil, self-restrained, and with clear knowledge, is dear to me.
Orlando, this is interesting that
I should begin recording, and I'm recording.
Yeah. Mind and intellect are two different functions. Do you have any insight about why both are mentioned separately?
Yeah, they are fundamentally the same thing, but when for didactics a purpose, we subdivide, the mind or the subtle body on different centers, So we have the mind, the mind, which is in general, mind goes for the entire all functions of the subtle body. But when we subdivide, mind comes with the thought, feeling aspect of the subtle body. So we have thoughts hitting us from within and coming from the objects outside, and every one of those have a sensation with respect to that contact, let's say. So this is the mind. The mind is a flux of thoughts and sensations. Sometimes we can present the sensations as the mental center of the subtle body, as apart from the mind. So we have those subdivisions, the mind, the intellect, the ego, the memory center as well, the emotional center. They are just subdivisions or sub-functions of the overall mind or subtle body. Yes.
I kind of usually think about the mind as being the automatic, mechanical, just not so subject to discipline as the intellect or fixed.
Well,
the mind being fixed seems it seems contrary to its nature. I kind of think of
words are always poor to describe the complexity of the body mind sense complex. So we would say, as you were saying, that the mind, if there is anything that needs discipline, is the mind, because the mind is something beyond our control usually, So you want to the whole concept of deliberate thinking, deliberate thought, So now I want to think in terms of the teachings of the Upanishads, and then I'm going to recall the words of the scriptures and then think on those lines. So Nididhyasana, as described by Swami Paramarthananda, is a flow of homogeneous, similar thoughts, all of them thoughts from the Upanishad Mahavakyas, the teachings of the Upanishad. So you keep your mind deliberately thinking according to those final declarations of the Vedas. So that is a mind that is thinking under your dictation, under your order. I want to think that way. Otherwise, the mind is just entertaining us. I was saying the other day in one of my Portuguese class that I'm never bored, I'm never alone, because if anything, I have my mind, saying things, and and the mind does that. Every mind does that. The thing is that the thoughts better do not cause anxiety, suffering, and fear, desire, those thoughts. So you can look at the thoughts without much interest, and then the thoughts, they purify in their nature as well. So what you say of the intellect is more the witnessing, experiential, conscious principle, and then we see things more clearly, and then we can make more precise or better assessments of what is happening in this duality, So the intellect is our cognition, is our faculty to try to discern things, and so the term things, So it is a very, very cognitive kind of process, is the intellect, or ultimately the they say in Viveka the jewel crown of discrimination, is the ultimate, the highest function of our body-mind complex is this Viveka Shakti, is the higher expressions we have of ourselves, which distinguishes us from other beings. So the devotee is the one who is interested in the nature of God. He heard that the nature of God is my very nature as well, and it has to keep the mind and the intellect. So the mind needs to be disciplined. The intellect is more like the lamp, that illumines and witness and watch things, and with a clear objective view of things, Two different functions. One is illumining and assessing the situation, and the mind is more like, as Papaji used to say, a bundle of thoughts and feelings that are just all the time running before us. And what happens is when we identify with this bundle of thought feelings, and then we go through all the fluctuations and different thoughts, feelings, we're going to be experiencing those flux, which is not nice. So it's much better to remain as the spectator, the watcher. My first guru, Osho Rajanishi, he used to teach us only meditation. He used to talk a lot in terms of psychology and then politics and all kinds of things. And then the ultimate teaching he was presenting us with was meditation. Then he gave us a list of 108 meditations, and so go experiment and choose from. And then he used to say, ultimately, you go through Vipassana, this and that, and then you're going to be watching everything. And he used to call that be the watcher on the hill. The watcher on the hill who has a 360 vision of everything, very objectively. So be the watcher on the hill is a function of the intellect. And when he's watching things, he's watching the mind as well, the thoughts and feelings. So the intellect can objectify the mind, which means thoughts and feelings, and the intellect is the ultimate instrument that needs to be purified, because it is within the intellect that self-knowledge takes place. The mind needs to be purified. Why? Because the mind that is all the time dispersive, and jumping here and without attention, suffering of attention span and everything, that kind of mind is so undisciplined that it's going to be very difficult to ask it to shut up when you just want to go through the Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. The mind is gibberish. So, like I tell Silva sometimes, stop gibberishing,
So the character of the mind doesn't change in the jñāni, but there's more control by the intellect on the habits of the mind.
Oh, you remember the teachings of Swami Paramarthananda. He refers to the mind, which needs purification, improvement, and so on. And most minds are what he calls the problematic mind. A problematic mind is a mind that has bad habits of thinking in terms of desires, fears, and concerns, preoccupations, and negativity. So bad patterns of thoughts. So that is a very problematic mind. So the jñāni has purified the mind as well as the intellect. In a
I
way,
see.
the
I'm
problem,
sorry.
the problematic mind is converted into a non-problematic mind, meaning to say, in a mind of in the jñāni, there may be an expression of the mind that is concerned about something, and to be concerned and preoccupied and expecting things, and so on, it brings a sense of discomfort. And then that again appears not often at all. The frequency of those visitors are very shallow, and then they are dismissed right away. You understand? And
So
then there's
so it's
nothing.
yeah, it's FIR working on that specific function. So the mind, it's not that the Prarabdha won't always bring up things, but less for the jñāni, less so for the jñāni.
Well, I can only talk from my own experience, okay? Which seems to
Right.
be general underline of our teachings coming from our sampradaya, is that the problematic mind gives space to a happy mind, a clear mind, a peaceful mind. I used to say that we have seen recently here Swamiji saying that moksha is a state of mind. So again, we are using mind, we're not using the intellect, mind as overall with all its centers, So what is moksha? Moksha is the fruits of this self-knowledge that brings about a peaceful mind, a clear, peaceful and clear mind. Okay. So it means to say that those concerning, disturbing, problematic thoughts, and thoughts, around, oh, I need this, I need security, this should not happen. All of that goes, with self-knowledge and the unfoldment that follows self-knowledge.
Yeah,
So it's very rare. It's different from the emotional center. The ultimate uh, palan of self-knowledge works on the emotional level
I know.
because
So even meditation, the mind becomes more silent. I remember that from when I started out, always I had a meditation teacher, as you did. So um, the mind just becomes a lot more quiet just with that. So I see where you're going. Thank you so much. Very clear.
okay. So we don't want to get self-knowledge and uh, remain I would say the word is hostess 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 of a problematic mind, because that's the whole thing, oh no, I have self-knowledge, I don't have my mind is a problematic, my mind is grumpy and this is angry, I'm not the mind, that is a bit strange, because moksha is a state of mind, meaning to say a mind that was purified in the fire of Atmayana. And so one way to access our level of freedom or moksha or of, is to see the state of our mind, how less problematic or non-problematic the mind became. Okay, not that that the world stop presents problems, because life is about, find favorable and unfavorable situation when there are problems, such as, now we have to figure out how to get Sylvia taking an Uber. The first reaction is fuck, and then immediately you say, okay, let's take care of this, and then we take care of things and then everything, and then we keep doing what we can. Yeah. So a non-problematic mind is the best trait of Yanni's mind. Okay. It's just that wisdom that allows us to deal with a problematic world without developing a problematic mind. The one who has discovered fullness, one who does not lack anything in life. Oh, now he's going to talk about this devotee. He has discovered his nature as ananda or pūrṇa, fullness, completion. Why? He has discovered that his true nature identity is consciousness, and there is nothing that can be added or subtract from what you are, you know? So therefore, such a devotee does not have a feeling something is missing. Most of the discomfort that people experience in life is psychological. And psychologically, as we are saying, the emotional aspect, the mental aspect is the one that needs to be observed. Because sometimes we have some emotional reactions that comes from deep within ourselves. But generally speaking, psychologically, the sense of something is missing should be removed or dismissed or I would say dispelled, in the light of self-knowledge, self-recognition, and the assimilation of this knowledge. So the idea that I need this, I need that, blah, blah, like we are talking about Sylvia, no? I said, so we all have parameters. I was meaning to say we all have our vasanas, and she has a samsari vasana, which is strong. So it's the feeling that something is lacking, something is missing here, I need to move, I need to go, I need to do this, I need this, I need that. That kind of uneasiness, that is there in the problematic mind that somehow unconsciously is still hoping that something else could solve its problem, resolve itself, fulfill itself. I need this, I need that, I need this experience. So the jñāni, the devotee, does not have that sense of I need anything. And that's why I'm saying psychologically, emotionally is important. And then he says even intellectually, because Vedanta is the knowledge, that puts an end to need of any other kind of knowledge as a means to fulfill yourself, complete yourself. You may have interest to get some more knowledge on different fields of knowledge, but never with a sense that this is going to be the cherry on the pie, as they say. This is going to give me even more ananda. No, if you want to know some things, because it's your nature, you are curious, you like to know certain things, and then you drop that interest. Sometimes I get interested in something and then it stays for a little bit. Since I got into the YouTube Premium, there I find some good material. And then I like those long interviews, and sometimes I tap into geopolitics, and then I get so bored, and then I drop it, and then I go into something else. I go, it's okay to have interest from knowledge, but never as a means to really make me complete or make me know exactly what's going on in the world, because only īśvara knows fundamentally. So not intellect, not psychological, there is no feeling of lack of missing something. There is no need for more knowledge, or there is no need for more emotions and sentiments and feelings, like people overrate emotions and feelings and sentiments. They live for that, And the anime appeared to be a little bit cool at first, but that coolness is a different sort of coolness because it is permeates with peace and true love, The one who does not lack anything and this inner pūrṇa, this fullness is called santuṣṭaḥ. And this person has got and the person who has got this santuṣṭaḥ, he said, you remember? Do you remember? I don't remember. You remember this part?
Sthitaprañāḥ is steady wisdom.
Steady wisdom. Yeah. Yeah, you need to have that clear, firm, steady knowledge, understanding, and that is wisdom. And wisdom here is I am consciousness, I am the only reality, and since I am the only reality, there is no where I end to something else begin, so I am whole, you know, I'm a whole without any parts. The parts are just superimpositions coming from the Prakriti of Maya. So the one who is contented, and why such a devotee is contented? Because such a devotee got the knowledge, aham pūrṇaḥ yana nema, pūrṇatvam yana nema. So this knowledge in regards to our full, whole, and complete knowledge, nature as consciousness. Vedanta is all about identity, you know, re-examining our sense of identity, because we are the only creatures in this world, this planet, at least we know, that cannot help but create a sense of identity. I am this, I am that, you know, I'm beautiful, I'm not beautiful. And you need to re-examine the sense of identity in the light of these teachings. Yeah, final teachings. In the beginning is more about reasserting your identity, your true identity. So you keep re-examining until you understand that you are consciousness. You are not the mind, the intellect, the body. So you are none of the five koshas and so on. So just to find out. So what am I really? You know, what am I? I am just consciousness, shining as a conscious being. People ask, if I'm already very content, then how I will work in the world. So that's a very good one. If I feel full, whole, and complete, what kind of motivation I will have to stay in this world? And that is a very, very good point, because if you, Swamiji most probably is going to answer here in a light way, saying that if you already have this knowledge in respect to your pūrṇa nature, you can still participate in society, you can still contribute, you know, you may serve in what possible way, even as a role model or inspiration to others. But fundamentally, the jñāni, it develops more and more vairagya as time goes by, and he's going to begin losing investment, let's say, not motivation, investment in this world. So what is in there to me? You know, for me, I mean, there's nothing that can add anything to me. You know, that is the position. If you're already contented, so what is going to motivate me to do things? No, you are not going to be motivated to do much of anything, but yet you're going to do what just appears before you that needs to be done, like cleaning the house, cooking your food, you know, take care of the vegetable garden and so on, according to one's paravada, you know? So you just respond with actions, appropriate actions, with appropriate attitude. The people ask if I already content. If everybody would have this knowledge and this sense of fullness and contentment, nobody would be motivated to work so hard in this world. Therefore, nobody would contribute. And then Swami answers in a light way, in a proper way. In fact, contented people alone can contribute. And if I am discontent, my contribution will be poor, very poor, you know. I may be contributing, but it's like you go in a restaurant, and I had restaurants, I know that. So, and then the chef is very angry for many reasons, and that anger is going to the food. And then the waiter is serving you was offended by you, or offended by you. It's angry with you as well, you know, saying although that angry attitude may come in your food, they are contribute to feed you, but there is more than the visible food. There is the energy behind. So if unhappy people are just spreading unhappiness all around, contribution is not very good. And happy people are very can offer the best contribution. One time they asked Ramana something like, yeah, because the Mahatmas and this and that, they do not help, they do not do anything in society. And then he said, who told you that Mahatmas do not do anything? In fact, they are the one doing the most, okay? And without doing action, especially Ramana, who was not doing any actions, you know, but just the energy emanating, you know, and the peace touching people's heart, and then the inspiration. So if you are discontent, you may work, but the contribution is going to be poisoned by your discontentment. If I'm not satisfied, that is a problem. That's why the more we refine, the more we want to stay away from negative people, you know, because that transpires, that, you know, affects everything around. Therefore, unhappy, discontent people will not help much. The contribution is going to be poison. Content people only can contribute to society because whatever he gets happily, he's okay with share with others. So, in other words, if you are happy, you always have a nice energy and a smile and hug to offer. And that has more value, like I was sharing with you guys, the people here. They love me so much because I have expressed so much respect and love to them as human beings, in spite of their lack of formal education. Therefore, the entire life of jñāni is dedicated to loving others, respecting others, contribute to others, offering attention, smiles, and this and that. Energy giving to others, time and energy, knowledge for those few who are curious to know what's in the mind of such a devotee. Therefore, a devotee of this caliber only alone can really contribute to others. So therefore, santuṣṭaḥ. So going back to how I began this conversation, so the Swami is going to have, the jñāni is going to have less motivation to participate in society, because you can participate in society if you hold the same societal values existing. So I figured that out long ago when I walked away from society to become a spiritual seeker or vagabond. I did not want to be part of that anymore. So the jñāni have completed his journey. He has no interest in participate in society, you know, and that's the reason I mostly keep it all to myself. I don't get involved with people, but I'm open to them, but I don't look for them. So what can a jñāni offer to others? Love, sympathy, respect, and above all, wisdom, knowledge. But who wants wisdom, knowledge? I'm very much alone here in this small little village. 200, 300 people only lives here. And the beginning, I thought that there was some spiritual people around here, but it is not spiritual people at all. It's just very, very entry-level kind of people, people who are misfit. They don't fit in society anymore. They come here and then they follow ayahuasca and some other things, believing that they are doing some spiritual work. Of course, I don't have anything in common with them. They have no interest in self-knowledge. Therefore, I have nothing to share with them except hi, and and then I just kept more and more to myself since I understood that association with them was creating trouble to me to a certain degree. So santuṣṭaḥ, he has found santuṣṭaḥ. The problem is contentment comes, the sun has passed, da, 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 da. When he is a santuṣa, because we also, he gives an example, but jñānis also find santosha. They have moments in which the contentment arises because the son has passed the examination and then something else, promotion, a raise in the salary, or a newborn child in India. So there are moments human beings bind by self-ignorance, they experience a certain degree of contentment. But then next moment, again, there are unfavorable circumstances and discontentment settles in. So again, we want something that is beyond all pairs of opposites. So you have to find what I like to describe as shanti, as peace, which is beyond the pair of opposites such as happiness and unhappiness, contentment and discontentment. Because when we were there with Papaji, we were trying to figure out what is this, what is happening, what is the pattern here, what is really what we are getting here. And then some people, just in our small circles here and there, say it's a sort of contentment, okay? But I find the word peace, shanti, more to the point. It's a peace, and this peace is something beyond its opposite, which would be disturbance. It's a peace, therefore, said to pass all understanding, because it does not depend on circumstantial peace or circumstantial peace, now favorable conditions. So therefore, this temporary, impermanent contentment is not what we are talking about here. We are talking about a stable contentment. This is the one who has this contentment is a devotee referred to as a jñāni in our sampradaya. The one who is a great yogi, a great jñāni. Once I say, you will say Sri Satsanam only. Many people think yoga, either the various asanas, next thing, miracles. Yoga means moksha or jnana. So in our sampradaya, here and there they use the word yoga in our text, but it means jnana yoga or jnani or jnana, atma jnana. Okay, the one who has got this atma jnana, the one who got the fruits of atma jnana, which is moksha. So yoga here means the one who has got atma jnana. So how can the word yoga mean jnana? Because yoga has so many different meanings. They even call the asanas a yoga, and a lot of people end up believing that I'm very spiritual because I do stretching yoga or asanas. The word yoga is derived from the root yuj, which means to combine, to unite, to come together, to connect. So that's the meaning, the literal meaning of this word yoga. Jnana is called yoga because through knowledge alone, the distance between Jivatma and Paramatma is removed. Okay, so as one of our our Mahatma said somewhere in the past that Vedanta is the yoga of no contact, of no connection or anything. It's not a question of trying to go from here, there to achieve or to transcend or to become. There is nothing on those terms. It's yoga without any distance, space, connection, contact, union or disunion. It's not a question of merging or getting there or coming together with the Atma. Jnana is called jnana because only knowledge and knowledge alone is going to destroy any distance between you and yourself. Okay? You and you are searching for, which your true nature is the self. So Jivatma, Paramatma, space, distance, time, distance is removed because, as I said before, in the beginning, the distance between Jivatma and Paramatma is caused only by ignorance of Paramatma as my own intrinsic true nature. In fact, there is no distance. And why there is no distance? It says that Bhagwan or īśvara, whosoever is in some of these lokas, there is a big distance from what I understand in the Puranas and so on. If Bhagwan is defined as all-pervading, what is the question of any distance? It's right now, right here. He is the substratum of the body-mind-sense complex. It's my true nature, conscious existence. So there is no distance between the all-pervading Brahman and I, the mind, the body-mind-sense complex. It's pervading, it's the substrate, it's the base, it's the support, is the the background upon which this body-mind is superimposed. So there is no different distance. Therefore, indeed, the body-mind is just an apparent superimposition. There is only the Lord, there is only Brahman. Suppose I say that the all-pervading Lord is in one of these lokas. What is a contradiction? In the Purana, is this Vaikuntha is a symbolic representation of our own Hridayan. If Lord is all-pervading, there cannot be distance. So it says that this Vaikuntha in the Purana is a symbol of our own self only. Because if the Lord is all-pervading, there is no distance and so on. It's a notional distance caused by delusion or projection of the Lord as something other than my own true nature. It's like a child sleeping in the lap of his or her mother, getting a bad dream. In the dream, he meets his mother, and the child cries, saying that it has lost the mother. Then the mother wakes up, and the child discovers that he has not lost the mother. I was just dreaming while I was next to my mother. Therefore, distance is caused by ignorance, not knowing. The distance is removed only by knowledge. If the distance was brought about by ignorance of the true nature of Nirguna Lord, as all-pervasive consciousness, my true nature, so that distance will be removed only by knowledge. Only knowledge will establish the jiva as not apart from itself, the Lord, consciousness. Jivatma, Paramatma, therefore, Aikya is called uniting process in the language of yoga. You do something to reunite with Brahman. In our tradition, we don't talk in terms of union or reunion because we don't use the yoga terminology in that manner, as if you are traveling, crossing a certain distance to achieve Brahman, to achieve yourself. Jivatma Paramatma Yujayate. Did you translate this one?
It's another yoga is the process of uniting. Yujite.
Okay. That with the help of which Jivatma gets united with Paramatma, therefore he is the yog, means yang. So I think I have shared with you a few moments I had with the last person, the so-called teacher in the United States, before self-recognition took place in my mind, in my intellect. And this guy, he used to proclaim that he was a disciple of Ramana Maharaj, and Ramana Maharaj, he was his guru, and he was in direct contact with Ramana Maharaj. Ramana Maharaj gave him a new name, devotee, and he just received that name direct from his master and so on. And I got in contact with this person for some reason, but very soon I moved away because I got in contact with that book of the guru of Nisargadatta Maharaj, and then it all began clearing in my mind, and I thought, all this talk of yoga makes no sense, because this guy, for him, enlightenment or moksha was a state gained by profound meditation. And then I began challenging him. We had some good conversations, and he used to still say, no, no, no. It's like that. Every time I go into deep meditation, I feel that I'm closer and more connected to the Lord, to Brahman, to Bhagwan. So it was a clear example of this notion of distance that you say, no, you can only understand that, there is no separation, there is no distance, you just need to know it and know it for good. He says, no, you will never know it unless you have the experience of connecting with Bhagwan, with the Lord in deep meditation. And the funny thing is, this guy, he was a yogi talking non-duality, but, not knowing that he was promoting duality. I and Bhagwan, I am the self,
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he used to do those things. And where I was going with it. I had some good discussions with him about that. Anyhow, I forgot. I was going to close it with another point. So this is a confusion. People in yoga, they have this notion. They overrate action and the results of actions, which is experience, because meditation in that sense, without any knowledge, we saw the other day, meditation with knowledge, meditation without knowledge, remember? So meditation without any knowledge is just to create a state of samadhi. It's not going to solve the problem, and person is going to be addicted to that state. So what I was going to say, now I remembered, is that when he met me, he was so excited. He thought, I have been waiting for you for 10 years. Have you heard this story? This kind of people, some gurus, sometime when they find a disciple, and then a student or whatever, he say, you are the one. I have been waiting for you for 10 years. And he tried so bad to seduce me. Okay. But the funny thing is that when I was still visiting him here and there, he moved to Mount Shasta. I went there a few times, and I did Huh? So I went there, and then he always wanted me to visit him. And then the only thing is that when I used to visit him, Mark, it was very funny because I would go there to see him. His wife would take me to the Great Enlightened One, and he was sitting there in the bow. And then he would look into my eyes and he would be staring at me, and I would be staring at him. And he did not want to talk because talk was a disturbance. And then it would be a bit like that. And then I tried to have a conversation with him, and then he was in silence, closing his eye, open your eye. And then after a few minutes, he would stand up and leave because say, no, that's more than enough. This is too disturbing, to my enlightenment. And then he would go back to his meditation. So it's to a certain degree pathetic once you get over those misconceptions.
Mount Shasta is filled with this.
Yeah.
Every other store is a gem store with all the, it's just crazy place.
That's why he moved there. He was before in Portland. That's where I went to see him. Okay. So, yeah, did you know Sylvia's not here? I'm much more free to gossip as well. When she's here, I don't gossip because later on she's going to say "Blah, blah, 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 blah," things of husband and wife. So, with the help of knowledge, we're going to destroy this notion of distance between I and Brahman as conscious existence, the only reality, my own nature. That's the only way you can get one with Paramatma. And this is by means of Atmayana. But if you believe in time, space, and duality, even if you call it non-duality, they call it non-duality, but temporarily. When he's dead, there is no duality. When they come out of that, there is duality. They go there. So, and then Swami moves the conversation. How about some siddhi, some powers, extra miraculous powers? There are so much confusion. People think that jñāni should have those powers. Otherwise, he's not a jñāni. So I'm saying there is no rule at all that jñāni should have any extraordinary powers. Jñāni should have what? Jnana. What kind of jnana? Self-jnana, ultimate jnana. That's all. Same thing is if you call the jnana the wise one, a sage, how do you say? A wise. They should be wisdom, should have wisdom. So jnana should have wisdom, should have knowledge, should have jnana. The very word jnani indicates that knowledge or wisdom should be there. Therefore, he puts here, therefore, a wise man, he's the one who got the wisdom. The wisdom, the ultimate wisdom, the real wisdom is spiritual wisdom, to know the true nature of reality as your own self. But how you know the true nature? This is arrogance, this is absurd. Well, it's very simple, but if you look at it from a scientific standpoint, you definitely believe that the jñāni is tripping, big time tripping, by saying, I know the true nature of reality. All the scientific communists trying to understand the true nature of the universe, but think that the reality is within the universe. So it is, but it's not. It's the substratum of this place in which they are. Such a mithya, if they don't include Satyam, they will never find true wisdom, the true nature of reality. There are 4 types of people, if you guys remember. The one who has neither seed powers nor knowledge, which is the large majority. They don't have self-knowledge and they don't have seed powers. No seed or no jnana. Another one is the one who has seed powers but no knowledge. Another one is self-knowledge without any miraculous power. And the other one is one who has both jnana and seed, and then immediately someone will say, oh, that's me, I want to have both. I want to have both. So people who are wanting to have both have still a certain problem, because that is a desire that does not liberate at all and could be an impediment, an obstacle, you know. And in fact, people who have certain seed powers, they don't demonstrate. They have it due to previous sadhanas that have brought his mind to have those powers. But such as Ramana Maharaj, he will never accept any responsibility for these powers, you know, and much less to show why someone wants to have both, why someone wants to have, you know, seed powers, because it's going to make me feel better about myself. The ego is going to feel superior now, because now I have knowledge and seed power. Even if you have to choose one of the two, of course, the ego is going to choose seed powers, you know, because the ego needs to be gone so that you can get the self-knowledge, because self-knowledge is nothing but leaving behind the notion I am, the ahankara, to own the notion I am limitless consciousness. It begins as a notion, then it becomes a direct reality. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the nature of conscious existence, the only reality. Therefore, I know the true nature of reality. But I have no seed powers. And then that friend of mine from Northern California, Southern California, told me, and I share with you guys sometime, oh, Naga, the day that I will see you levitate in front of me, and then I'm going to start listening to your talks and give some credit to it. But first, levitate. It's very symbolic. When he told me that, I said, wow, this I'm going to use in satsangs. Okay. The one who is liberated because he has got jnana. City powers may be there as a bonus, but it's not common, as far as my opinion. This is my opinion. The second one is also liberated because he has jnana without any siddhi. So the first is liberated because it has some siddhi, but as a bonus, or it was parabhada. It's my karma to come in here and have these powers, you know, develop a mind that somehow has this kind of spiritual powers. What are you gonna do is say, I'm gonna make a big show and make my ego to grow. No, because I got jnana. So jnana has destroyed the sense I am the ahamkara. There is no ahamkara here trying to find validation or self-important. The ahamkara is gone. My identity is the light of consciousness. So therefore, without even a iota of siddhi, the jnana, the jnani, is liberated by the means of atma jnana. The third type has got seeds without jnana. In fact, we get this category in Chandogya Upanishad, 7th chapter. Narada tells, I have got all these seeds. I can read the mind of others. I can know what is under the ground without digging. I can know everything. I can read the future. Even though all the seeds are there, I'm still feeling small and incomplete. If knowledge is not there, no matter how much seed you have, you are samsari. Now this is in the field of esoteric, mystic samsara, you know, miraculous samsara. It's a huge problem. This very subtle samsara. So I probably shared with you guys some of those talks of Papaji in our small groups there, such songs, in which when he was doing a lot of pilgrimage looking for someone who could show him God that would be permanently present, because he was used to his sadhanas that would produce Krishna as his God, his deity, but the deity would appear and disappear. I want to find God that stays permanently with me. And he went around in India at a certain time when he had taken care of some needs of the family. He became a sadhu going around. He went to a village because people told him outside of the village there is a forest there, and there is a sage that lives there for hundreds of years. He is the incarnation of God. Go there, visit him. And then when he got there, they told him, "Oh, you can try, but it's very, very difficult to see him. He does not come out. Very, very few times in my life I saw him appearing, but then he disappears in the forest again." And then Papaji said, "Okay, I will find him." And then as Papaji, he telling us the story, as he began entering the forest, this Siddhi, sadhu, came to meet him, welcoming him. "Oh, I was waiting for you." "How come?" "Oh, I have Siddhis. I know everything about you, and I knew you were coming to meet me. I know your mind. And I'm waiting, but why you are waiting me? Because I want to take satsang from you. I know that you're a self-realized person, and I want to have satsang." And then Papaji went on describing the experience, saying that this city manifest a lunch, a nice Indian lunch out of thin air. They had lunch and this and that. They had good satsang there. And it's one of those stories of Papaji. Jnana is primary. There are many other stories, Puranic stories or Upanishad stories, in which sages and saints come down to the earth to have satsang with some gurus, some mahats, some teachers. In the old days, they are teaching, and then even the sages and the deities come down. Why? Because they say, "No, because we are deities, we live in those celestial lokas, but we are not free, we want to be free. So here we are visiting you to enjoy your satsang." So therefore, it's better never to focus on seed powers. It is an obstacle to self-knowledge and moksha. This is the most important. It may be very attractive. If anyone is attracted to this notion, it's because the ego is still somehow relevant there. Still. The next word is yatamaha, which you will see in the next class. So I want to carry on, Swamiji. And now he has to do the whole recap here. So what is the characteristic of such devotee? That's the topic we are seeing right now. The Lord is pūrṇa, the infinite one. That pūrṇa, īśvara, cannot be away from me, because it's all pervasive īśvara. So he's saying that be careful, your deities, saguna, īśvara, it's not really the īśvara, Vedantic, nirguna īśvara, all pervasive. The infinity and limitlessness refers to nirguna, free from any gunas. The ultimate self-knowledge is only possible by recognition of one's pūrṇa nature, or better said, the pūrṇa īśvara nature. pūrṇa īśvara nature is different from knowing about saguna īśvara, but we are talking of nirguna īśvara, that which is the only reality, all pervasive, not different from me. In short, my nature is declared in the Upanishads as pūrṇa as well, as identical to the nature of nirguna īśvara. When I discover the fact, when I understand the nature of nirguna īśvara and understanding the declarations of identity between my pūrṇa nature and the pūrṇa nature īśvara, so I will feel like I'm complete. I don't lack anything. I don't miss anything. I never suffer from a problematic mind. I never have a problem self-inadequacy. I can sing the well-known Tamil song. It's not a mere verbal expression, but I can tell from my own heart, I do not lack anything in life. I do not miss. There is nothing that can complete me because my nature is fullness and completion. As long as I'm still missing something, and that could be moksha, self-knowledge, as long as I'm missing something, it means that I did not completely understood my true nature. And as long as I'm missing things, worldly things, I cannot really do much of Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana because the mind has to be purified and focused and quiet. So if I have worldly desire, the mind will be agitated and restless and unhappy. Therefore, there is a constant struggle to make myself happy or complete. And it's important, it's impossible to find completion by going towards worldly objects of desire. This is a struggle. This is the important mission, as sometimes I refer to. This struggle will continue eternally until I discover that I do not lack anything. So that is the ultimate understanding. That's what provides us with the vairagya and a lack of investment in this world. In the case of the jñāni, he has discovered his fullness. Therefore, he has this feeling, inner feeling that there's nothing missing here. I'm just exhausting my prarabdha. This was said in the second chapter of the Gita. Called santuṣṭaḥ. Santuṣṭaḥ is I don't miss anything in life, right? If God suddenly appears in life in front of me and asks, what do you miss in life? So that I can give. In our head, hundreds of things come. I will have a long list to present to God. I don't have this, I need more money, I need more security, I need this and that. I need, my hairs are falling, my health is declining, and so on. So things are missing. So there are three kinds of missing or lack, which is sense of apūrṇaḥ, not being satisfied physically in terms of weight, height or weight or complexion. Physically, limitation. I would like to be more beautiful like I was 40, 50 years ago. Plastic surgeons are making money on you because you feel you're not satisfied with life as it is. Therefore, emotional like my son and this and that, I need somebody who loves me and somebody I can love. The songs are there. The old song, nowadays you don't have romantic loving songs anymore being created. But in the old days, there were many of that, the love for the beloved one as a means to complete me, Emotional lack. Love me, love me, love me. Therefore, Nobody talks to me, nobody gives me attention. Intellectual lack, the third one. I miss so many things I would like to know. The most fundamental is how and why Bhagwan created this world, and many questions on those lines. But there are people like this old friend of mine from Northern California, that he suffers so much because sense of incompletion, but really it hurts him big time. The fact that he dug his own life into conspiracy theories to find out who owns the planet and what they are doing, and he will never know really what's happening behind the curtains, and that hurts him so deeply. And you cannot imagine how many times I told him, man, forget it. You will never know. We will never know. We know that there are this force, this different force controlling the planet. They meet every year several times behind closed doors, and they see us as just taxpayers, to say in English. We are just taxpayers, and we'll see what AI is going to bring to the world, and if they are going to need as many taxpayers or not. So give it up, pack it on, as James used to say. But no, someone can be suffering even for not being able to know what's going on that level, which is impossible to know. The person is going to feel impotent and small and so on. Intellectually, there are missing some more knowledge about science, biologies, and all things I've seen. Or more knowledge. I want to know all the Upanishads. Who cares about knowing all the Upanishads? You just need one Upanishad to get to know yourself, if you really allow it to really, go through, cruise through you. Therefore, this santuṣṭaḥ is free physically, emotionally, intellectually, and therefore it's a statement, I'm not lacking anything. And when not during morning, night, Sunday, Monday, there is no sense of lack. I'm ever free, whole, and complete. There's nothing I really need for that purpose. And that does not mean that person does not need to be active in the world. Meaning to say that actions may be there, and these actions, they are going to follow the saguna nature of the body-mind complex of the jñāni. Because some of us are more rajasic with age. Rajaguna becomes less because the body becomes heavier to carry around, and but yet some of us got we have rajasic vasanas. We like to stay active, and my experience is that action to keep a certain degree of worldly action, duties such as taking care of a house and this and that, is a health way to grow old as well. Otherwise, we don't know where to sit. You sit into the couch, you hurt your back and lower, middle, lumbar. So it's better to keep doing some action. I mean, the doctors are telling me you need to do a little bit more than what you're doing. So now I add another 30, 40 minutes of walk every day. Not to talk about all the change of diet. So it is overall, if it is moderate, to keep a little bit active is better for the physical body and for the mind as well. But it will depend on our saguna nature. Some jñānis, they are so sattvic that they have that huge sadhana to stay quiet, stay peaceful, and enjoy a very steady, peaceful mind, which is more in terms of samadhi, sahaja samadhi, a mind that is properly resolved with the tendency of not engaging in action, just to stay there, enjoying the nectar of that beautiful reflection. Okay, when the activity is born out of incompleteness is a struggle, life a struggle, life becomes a drag, life becomes a burden. What's the definition of struggle? Any activity you do which is backed up by a sense of incompleteness. This is so to the point. Beautiful, beautiful definition. Struggle, any activity we do which is backed by a sense of incompleteness. Whereas the kid of jñāni, not that he sits all day long, he may be also active, as Krishna said in the third chapter. Arion, very nice, beautiful segment here of our text. Sorry, we went over the time. I go there to prepare my lunch. Om pūrṇamada pūrṇamidam pūrṇamudachyate pūrṇasya pūrṇamadaya pūrṇamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om īśvara, namaste. Are we good for Friday?
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. That reminded me, Alindo, of, do you remember that guy, Dave? He came to one of your seminars in India, tall guy from Canada, I believe. He once said to me, he said, before I acted to make me happy, now I act because I am happy.
Yeah. This is a common statement in our sampradaya. The jñāni acts out of happiness, and the ajñāni to get happiness. Yeah, it's a very well-known expression in our sampradaya. And you know what the coincidence? I'm going to post on our things. Yesterday, sometimes I see my Facebook, and then it appear old memories suggesting that I could repost or this or that of my last satsang in Tiruvannamalai, in which you are there. And Dave is there, everybody's in there. I'm going to post them so that we can enjoy that flashback. Okay, doke, coincidence. Namaste.
Okay, see you Friday. Bye now.
Bye-bye.